you sure can't hide. Well, nobody's interested in learning but the teacher. Segregation, determination, demonstration, integration, aggravation, humiliation, obligation to our nation.
Good morning and welcome to Detroit Wants to Know. Today, we're at what used to be the Chase Tower in downtown Detroit. Today, my friends, we're going to be talking all about Quicken. They've come to town, they've brought people to town, and they brought with them the future of Detroit. The future is here, my friends. Get on board or get left behind, and it involves you. My first guest is David Carroll, Vice President of Quicken. Right, Dave?
Yep.
All right, tell us, what is Quicken, Rock Ventures, Bedrock? What is all this stuff, and where are we right now?
Well, we refer to ourselves as a family of companies. Dan Gilbert has an ownership interest in probably well over 100 companies nationwide, the majority of them located right here in the city of Detroit. Quicken Loans is the largest and original company of all. Quicken Loans is one of the top mortgage lenders in the country, is won the J.D. Power Award for Best Customer Service among mortgage lenders in the whole country, a very successful company that employs a lot of people. But there's other companies too. There's Bedrock Realestate that handles the real estate development downtown. There's Fathead that produces all sorts of cool wall graphics.
Wait. Fathead, like the people on the walls?
Yeah, people on the
Wow.
walls, that's one of our companies. There's a lot of entrepreneurial companies. There's a Greektown Casino, and then there's a few things in Cleveland, of course, the Cleveland Cavaliers. So we're a whole large family of companies, and Rock Ventures is the umbrella company that sort of handles the support for them, kind of the umbrella name we go by, rather than using the name Quicken Loans for everything. But we're all consider ourselves a big family of companies, and most of which are based right here in downtown Detroit.
So you've brought how many employees downtown?
Well, we had zero about 3.5 years ago, and now we're up to about 12,000 employees downtown. So it's been a pretty big boost into downtown Detroit.
We have the Quicken employees and the addition to Blue Cross Blue Shield to thank for the new traffic jams downtown.
Traffic jams, the higher parking rates, all of that's.
Beyond the traffic jams, what does Quicken's development downtown mean to the average citizen that doesn't live downtown? Are you guys creating an island unto yourselves here?
No, we're not. That's a great question, though, because we read a lot about the success of downtown and midtown, and it's a great question. How does that affect the neighborhoods and the average citizen in Detroit? A few things. First of all, the events and the things we do create downtown are actually a lot of fun and available for everybody. So we encourage people to come out to campus marches, the riverfront, a lot of free activities that a lot of people should enjoy. Secondly, there's the tax base. And I don't want to get all accountant technical on you, but suffice it to say, we generate tens and tens of millions of dollars in city income tax revenue that our employees pay, parking revenues, local businesses.
Wait. You just said your employees pay city income tax. There was a rumor out there that your employees didn't have to pay city income tax.
Well, let me clarify. When we originally moved our people downtown, the first chunk of people, I think it was about 3,000, the first couple waves of moves a few years ago, Quicken Loans gave everybody a raise to cover what they have to pay in city income tax. But they pay the city income tax. We gave them a raise to cover it, but they are paying it. And then above and beyond that, we've created probably about 6,500 new jobs since those initial folks moved down, and those people pay city income tax. So no, everybody who works downtown for one of our companies pays city income tax. Those tax dollars go right to the treasury of the city of Detroit, which in turn hopefully uses that money to improve city services, police, fire, lighting, everything in the neighborhoods. And that doesn't even count the parking revenues, the spin-off business, the lunches, the restaurants, the hotel stays. All that economic activity creates a tax base that goes into the city to help with the fiscal problems. On top of that, of course, there's job creation. We've created a lot of jobs. We've hired a ton of Detroiters. We have Detroit job fairs. You'll hear more about our summer internship program in a few minutes, but over 1,000 summer interns, many of them.
1,000.
Yeah, 1,000, and you'll hear more in a few minutes, but believe it or not, 1,000. Be our second year in a row, we'll top that 1,000 mark. But the job creation and then also bringing people to Detroit. I say we hire a lot of Detroiters. It really goes two ways. One is hiring Detroit residents, but then we've had a lot of people move to Detroit. Well over 400 have moved here in the last 3 years alone since we started the Live Downtown incentive, whereby we We help people, give them a subsidy to live downtown for a couple of years.
Will those subsidies ever expand out into the Rosedale Parks, the Jefferson Chalmers, the University District?
We're
Martin
talking
Park?
about it. Probably not that soon. Nothing's on the drawing board that quickly. The idea is to add density and to sort of pick an area and make it dense. But there's been talk about expanding the barriers to the boundaries to a degree. One other area where we help is just community philanthropy and community involvement. We're involved in a lot of public-private partnerships. The M1 rail line, the purchase of the police and EMS vehicles. If you the fight against blight, which you'll hear about in a few minutes. And then just philanthropy. There's probably over 200, 250 organizations we've contributed to. And not just the arts institutions and the downtown events, but out in the neighborhoods. El Quibelan Village, Neighborhood Service Organization, Paquette Square for veterans. A lot of smaller organizations that are maybe not that popular, that aren't on the fundraising circuit, but that we've contributed to and gotten involved with, and a lot of volunteer hours. The exact number escapes me, but a lot of volunteering, a lot of community involvement as well.
Dave, I'm excited. Okay. Now, when we come back, I'm going to hear from Mr. Kitai, your Director of Development, about what's going on downtown and what's on the horizon. All right? So, thanks for being with us. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, it's more with Quicken Loans. Did I say thank you for being a sponsor? Thank you for being the sponsor.
It's our pleasure.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Detroit Wants to Know. This week we're coming to you from Quicken. My guest this segment is Jim Kitai, the managing partner of Bedrock Development. Now, Jim, are you the guys that do everything downtown? Is it all Bedrock, or what is it?
I'm going to say we're the guys that do everything real estate related downtown. So every building that's been acquired, every renovation that has happened, even where we're sitting right now, has all been done through Bedrock.
This didn't look like this before.
No, this was a very tired, non-functioning cafeteria that was part of the Chase Bank, JP Morgan Chase, originally NBD. And when we walked in here, we said, we're going to liven this place up. We're going to make it really be a place that people want to not only eat here, but be able to sit and work and talk and communicate and exchange ideas. So we created this environment, and it's worked.
Jim, let's go through the easy part. You've got the Chrysler House down the street, which used to be the fabulous Dime building. What else have you acquired?
We've acquired over 40 buildings so far, Steve. It's been in less than, or actually now it's just a little over 3 years that we've acquired those buildings. So as far as the major buildings go, it was the Chase building, it was the First National building, it was Dime, which has now been changed to Chrysler House, the Federal Reserve building, which is next to the Dime building.
Now that's where the Detroit newspaper partnership is going in there, right?
That's where that press release came out, yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes, they are taking about 85,000 square feet there. So
all right.
Very exciting, and that building will only have, believe it or not, one floor remaining at that point, about 9,500 square feet left, as well as the first floor, which we've been holding out for retail. So all the buildings that we acquire, we always hold the first floor for retail because that's where we need to have that vibrancy and that foot traffic and that activity on the first floor. So it will always be retail.
Let's get into a little bit harder part. How do you keep things secret? It just, all of a sudden it just happens one day, but you've had to worked on them for a while. I mean, for example, the deal on 1001 Woodward, it just
I didn't even mention that one
It
yet.
just seemed to pop out of nowhere.
So we do our best to try to keep things quiet until we're under contract and or closed so that we're ready to make the big boom announcement and create that energy and excitement around the latest acquisition. I guess the way we do it is we are usually working on multiple buildings at one time, so nobody really knows where we're at and what we're doing. And we try very hard to keep it under wraps as much as possible, and not because we don't want people to know, because it's not that big a deal, just because we think it comes off that much better to announce it as, you know, here's another building that's been acquired and this is what's happening with this building.
Okay,
So
we're gonna go
we
hard,
try.
then we're gonna go easy.
Great.
You've taken a lot of heat for a purchase you did in Capitol Park.
Yes.
All right, Tell me about that. Are you really the evil person throwing those people on the streets?
So we are not at all, actually.
Because I wanted to meet the devil
Yeah.
always. You know.
It's not me. You're not
Okay.
getting to. So we bought that building in Capitol Park. It was occupied by multiple residents. I think we had 9 different residential units in there. First floor was always intended to be residential. So the city came by and did their inspection, and they said to us, this is not a safe building. You know, you really cannot have the people in here. You don't have the proper means of egress. You don't have the proper fire suppression. You know, if something were to happen here, it could be disastrous. So we literally just, for the safety of our tenants, because that comes first, we wrote the tenants a letter and said, you know, we're terribly sorry, but we need to do renovations that can't be done while you're sitting in the building or occupying the building. And, you know, here's some funds to try to help you to
Okay, so you
locate
did help
somewhere
them.
else. We did. And so we weren't evil at all. The people like to paint us out that we're here kicking people out. That's not the idea at all. The concept is we want to bring these buildings back to life and make them safe and make environments that are safe for people to live in and work in, play in, whatever it is that we're doing at that building. So I think Capitol Park's going to be a great environment.
It's going to be hot. But you brought 14, there's something even hotter already. You brought, what, 12,000, 14,000 people downtown? And so you created this parking garage.
Correct.
The Z Garage, which
The
is
Z.
actually, I've never seen a parking garage change the face of downtown. Okay, that thing is so amazing. Does it change colors all night?
It does,
Or is it just
so-
me driving home strangely from Mitch's?
So no, it does change color. We have a computerized chip that can change the colors of it based upon what's going on in the city that week, that day. So if it's St. Patrick's Day, it's going to go green. If it's a Red Wings game, we're going to turn it red. For the Tigers game, we're going to turn it the orange and blue. So not only does it do that, but the elevator, as it stops on each floor, it lights up that particular floor's color. So
Okay.
you will always see the elevator from the outside lighting up a different color. And then obviously, you know, we created something that just doesn't exist anywhere.
The original art space.
Right. And we've brought in 27 different artists from around the world to create. Each one was assigned a floor, and they were just said, you know, this floor's color is orange, this floor's color is blue, whatever it was, paint around that. And then each one went to town and created their artwork and their masterpieces. And we knew that we wanted something more than just your normal parking deck. Just
Okay.
create an experience for people.
Speaking of that parking deck, I've got to go to break. I want you to confirm or deny a rumor.
Yes.
Okay. I heard that Baker's Keyboard Lounge is going to come down into the Z deck.
So I'm not going to confirm that because Baker's Keyboard has been looking downtown. I really don't know where downtown they'll end up, and I certainly hope they do end up downtown because I think they belong here. And we're very excited about the possibility of them coming to a location, whether it's one of ours or any other landlord downtown.
Okay. Jim, thank you very much for dispelling some
meeting
rumors.
you.
I'm glad you're not the devil because I hate shaking the devil's hand. Ladies and gentlemen,
Thanks.
we'll be right back. When we come back, we're going to talk about internships and employment with Quicken. Be right back. Welcome back to Detroit Wants to Know. In our first segment, we had David Carroll, Vice President of Quicken Loans, giving us an overview of all the companies that are under the umbrella. Second segment, we talked about development in downtown, specifically the Z Garage. Now, in this segment, we're going to talk about employment at Quicken Loans with Michelle Salvador. Got it right, didn't I?
You did.
Michelle, start off at the bottom rung, which is the internship. Tell me about that.
Internship is a huge deal here at Quicken Loans. We hire the majority of our interns that actually come in and perform for us. So interns here do everything. We have them in every single part of the company, whether it's mortgage banking, technology, recruiting, human resources, legal, accounting, anywhere that you can think of, we have interns. And they don't perform just normal filing. They're not out getting coffee they're actually doing work. We've had interns come on board here and actually create mobile applications for us.
So are they paid internships?
They are paid. Every intern here is paid,
okay.
absolutely. Some of the great things that have come out of our program would blow your mind. I would need probably about 40 minutes to tell you all about it.
Well, I'm going to
because
give you 40 minutes later on, but I just want a
Good.
tidbit today. How many interns do you have over the summer?
Over this summer, we're going to have over 1,000.
Over 1,000
Over 1,000 interns here in Detroit this summer.
Is the application period closed for that, or is it still open?
Still open. You can go to quickenloanscareers.com.
quickenloanscareers.com. And how old do you have to be to get an internship?
We really look at our intern program as non-traditional. So if you are advanced in your schooling, let's say you're a senior in high school, you've taken advanced college classes, we'll still take a look at you for an internship. If you're a sophomore, junior, senior, even freshman in college, we'll still look at you for an internship. We also will look at individuals who are looking for a career change. So you don't have to be of college age. You can be a more mature candidate and still be a candidate for us for an internship.
Wait. That sounds like that, was it a Will Ferrell movie? They were Google interns?
Yeah, that's
so
a
you're
great
saying
movie.
somebody at 45, 50 could be an intern?
Sure, absolutely.
If they're looking for a career change.
So what we look at is are individuals that have the schooling and maybe they don't quite have the experience that they need to get their foot in the door somewhere. If they have an interest and they have passion, they have to have a large passion for whatever it is they're going to do. We will look at them for an internship, absolutely.
Okay, give us that email, that web address again.
It's quickenloanscareers.com.
Okay, now, getting a job at Quicken. We heard Mr. Carroll in the first segment say he brought 12,000 people downtown.
Absolutely.
How does somebody get a job at Quicken Loans?
quickenloanscareers.com. We do call every candidate that applies to us for any position that they apply.
Really?
We go through and we talk to them, and what we're really looking for are individuals that have a strong passion for what they want to do. They have to have a passion for the city of Detroit. They have to want to join in our fight to make sure that downtown Detroit is beautiful and it's perfect. And they also have to have some of the skill sets that we're looking for. We have a great training program, so we're not afraid of individuals that maybe don't quite have all of the experience we're looking for. As long as they have some of it, we'll still look at them to be a candidate with us.
Okay, so we've talked about the internship, those people that already have it going on. We talked about people actually getting a job at Quicken. Tell us, what are you doing with the Detroit Public Schools? I hear a rumor that you're doing some sort of mentoring program.
We are. It's called the Network, and I'm super excited about it. We have about 36 or 37 students from Osborne High School.
Osborne. Not Castech, not Renaissance,
Nope,
but Osborne?
Osborne High School. We had our first meeting this past week, and it was fantastic. It was an opportunity for us to be mentors for those folks. And so we have 37 mentors, so it's a one-on-one mentor-mentee relationship. And we're learning about what their days are like, and they're learning about what our days are like. Some of the greatest things that came out of the first program was one of the students said, I never knew that you could get a job and have fun at what you're doing.
Well, Michelle, I got to go to break, but I want you to come back because I want to do like
Great.
I want to do like a half hour with you. Okay?
Great.
Because
Great.
you've dispelled a lot of rumors just with the Osborne thing alone of saying that Quicken Loans is just about downtown. Ladies and gentlemen, when we get back, when we come back, we're going to talk about blight with my good friend Steve Ogden. Be right back. Welcome back to Detroit Wants to Know. This week we've been coming to you from Quicken Loans. We're going to end out the show with my good friend Steve Ogden, the Director of Corporate and Governmental Affairs for Rock Ventures.
Sure, right.
Okay, first of all, and you're handling the blight thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, how many structures are you going to tear down?
Well, I don't think we have the final word on that yet. We did the data process, the Motor City mapping. We're scrubbing that data now. We're examining what the priorities are.
We don't know if it's 80,000 structures, 30,000 structures?
No, but Steve, you know, historically, for at least the last couple decades, people have been throwing around a number, and I think it's just been out of reaction, and 80 appears to be the comfortable number that people use. but we're not convinced. We don't know yet. So that's why we started the data project, is to say, let's have a credible source to understand and manage our issues, our challenges, to understand the breadth and the depth of the challenge.
Now, what role does the Quicken umbrella of companies play in blight removal in Detroit? Are you guys leading it? Are you guys setting forth the contracts? Or are you just assisting in it? What is it?
Yeah, so it's a good question. You know, here at Quicken, we get involved with a lot of what we would consider public-private initiatives. M1, you know, the police and fire vehicles, a lot of those things that are typically government responsibilities that we take a look at only because we know it's the right thing to do. And it's good for the city, it's good for the residents, and blight was another thing. And no, we're not leading it. There's a federal task force that's chaired by Dan Gilbert, Glenda Price, and Linda Smith. And the three of them form the Blight Removal Federal Task Force.
Now, don't two of them work for Quicken? Or
No, just Dan.
Just Dan.
Yeah,
okay.
Linda Smith runs
So then-
CDC on the east side called Youth Snapback, and
Right.
Glenda Price is at the DPS Foundation.
Okay, so you all are then just helping out.
That's correct. Yeah,
Okay.
you know, what people have to remember is, or fail to remember is, when this came together in late September, we were in the midst of the rumors, the bankruptcy conversation. At the time, the incumbent mayor had decided not to run again. We hadn't had the general election yet, so there was no new leader. So we were operating in a vacuum of, let's just get this done and try to figure out how to do it right and hand over an implementation strategy to the mayor and the EM. And that's what we're going to do. In a few short weeks, we're going to hand over a strategy that calls for some implementation action, an action plan, if you will, to address blight.
Speaking of the implementation plan, tearing down a house is a lot more complex than people think. It's not just knocking it down.
Right.
I mean, even when it comes to the basements, I hear it used to be that you could just crack the basement. Now you have to remove the basement. How much does it cost? What does it take to tear down a house? Just tell us, whether it be 30,000 structures or 80,000 structures.
So a typical residential prototype, a 3-bedroom brick bungalow on the east side, let's say it's $10,000. What $10,000 gets you is all the clearances and regulatory stuff that you have to go through, the physical act of knocking a structure down, hauling it to a landfill, the fees to dump it in a landfill, the grading and seeding of the lot when you're done with it, all of that. The typical number you hear is $10,000. So the actual knocking down of the house, the actual demolition, that takes really a few hours.
Okay.
And that can get done for about $4,000 or $5,000. The rest of it is the price of doing business.
And then you have to get all the utilities shut off. All that
That's
stuff
correct.
has to be gone.
All that is in the regulatory clearance process, which is done up front.
You did a wonderful job at Next Detroit.
Thank you.
The nonprofit that you worked at before that, before this. How did that prepare you for what you're doing now?
It's a good question. It actually tie bars pretty well, because what we were trying to do at Next Detroit was try to understand what residents needed. And so we were on the ground meeting and engaging residents.
Residents not inside of downtown
That's
Detroit.
correct, in neighborhoods, in the residential neighborhoods, the traditional neighborhoods in Detroit. And that was about engaging them to understand what they needed for them to be able to take control of their own neighborhoods and make decisions about their own neighborhoods. Because we understood that nobody knows their neighborhood better than the resident that lives there, right? We can be experts all we want, but at the end of the day, it's them, the residents, that will make decisions that will inform our process. Even the mapping process, there's going to be an engagement portion of that where residents will be able to go online and say, though you think that house is really swell and well appointed, inside it's blew out.
Okay.
And vice versa. And those are things that we wouldn't know just by taking pictures.
Okay. Well, Steve, I want to thank you for coming on. You've capped off a wonderful morning. You've dispelled the myth that Quicken is just about downtown Detroit. And you, being of the neighborhoods of Next Detroit, really just put a cap on it.
Good.
But Miss Salvador with Osborne, okay, I'm into that. All right, we got to go. Thanks for
Great.
coming. I
My
hope I get
pleasure.
to spend more time with you.
Thanks,
Good to
Steve.
see you.
All right.
And how about those Cavaliers? Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching Detroit Wants to Know. We've been coming to you from Quicken Loans. The future's here. Embrace it or don't. It's your loss if you don't. Enjoy downtown Detroit and enjoy your neighborhood. Have a great week.
Go green.
People moving out, people moving in. Why? Because of the color of the skin. One, Well, nobody's interested in learning but the teacher.